This is the ProTemp Plus by Chef Temp. They sent this over for me to check out, and that's just what I'm gonna do today. You can see I've got the Oklahoma Joe up and running. It's at temperature, it's smoking. I'm gonna get this set up. I have a small pork butt that I'm gonna do pulled pork with. Let's check it out. So it has the temperature probe in the charging pack. Take those out. One thing I already like is the end of this temperature probe actually gives me something to hang on to. A lot of the other probes are just a continuation of the stick. I want to find the fattiest part of the pork butt that does not have bone. Just insert that. There's a safety line here. You got to go past that. I'm going to push it all the way in just like that. And there you go. Now I'm going to grab the app and we're going to set a cook up. I got a pork shoulder. Now we're doing pulled pork. I want mine to be right at 200. And we hit the start cook. Probe is inserted. All right, so we got the cook going. You can set them here on this side of my smoker. And there we go. Now we're cooking. I got my pork shoulder on and it's cooking. Let's talk about this thing. This is the base station for it. It's basically a Wi-Fi extender for the probe. The probe is supposed to have about a 500-foot line of sight range, but with the top closed down on it, it's only gonna reach about 15 feet for Bluetooth. Metal interferes too much. That's where this comes in. This you set on the edge of your smoker. That's well within 15 feet. The probe is connected to this. This is connected to my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is connected to my phone, where I have the app running. The app gives me the internal temperature and the ambient temperature of my smoker. We'll see how accurate it is as we get along into the smoke. The ambient temperature sensor, it is encased in a ceramic coating that takes a little bit longer to heat up than the other ones that I have, but it also allows it to handle more heat as well. So it takes a little bit of time for that to get up to temperature. But that's not a big deal because I know based on this, my smoker is where it is. The ambient's just kind of a nice thing to do with a longer smoke like today, where I do have to go run errands. While this thing is running, I can check it out on my app and see what my cook is doing. It's also a battery pack. Supposedly it has like this massive battery life, which is nice. The probe on my old one, I could get through a brisket, about a 12-hour cook, but it would definitely need to be charged. I went through several probes with the competitor that I have, and while they got the job done, I wasn't completely happy. I'm hoping for better results out of this one. The other cool thing about this is it has an input for charging. It has an output that I can actually plug this into my phone, Bluetooth speaker, or charge another device off of it. It comes with one charging bay in the front. Here in the back, you have storage for 2 more probes. If you want to get the large or the mini probe, you can store those back here and it charges back here. A little door I like because it's magnetic. It doesn't have any of those plastic clips to break. It just sits in there. I think this is built really nicely. So I'm just going to set this over here and then I'll update you in a few hours. Dead on. All right, I finally got the notification that this thing was done. This has been a grind of a cook. This piece of meat did not want to cooperate, but this, it did. It is awesome. I'm at 201 right now. We're gonna take it off. First, I'm gonna open up my smoker, check it with my instant read temp and see how close the 2 thermometers actually are. 202, 202, look at that. I said that's pretty dadgum accurate there. So we'll take that off and let it rest. I have been very impressed with this. The Wi-Fi had no problem connecting to my Wi-Fi, where my other wireless meat thermometers Wi-Fi bridge, it struggled out here. No issues whatsoever, got a very strong Wi-Fi signal. The probe's supposed to have about a 500-foot range of its line of sight with the top open. I had the top closed. The instruction says it has about a 15-foot range. So I tested this out and I actually got about 25 feet out of this before it lost connection. I did have to move it because this is all in direct sunlight. I didn't really want to leave this in direct sunlight, so I moved it under my patio. And it worked fine. And there you have it. Beautiful pulled pork. 10 hours later. A little bit longer cooked than I expected today. But I will tell you, I was super impressed with this thing. I used less than half the battery life on the probe. Like I've really said, I really do enjoy that I can actually grab this probe here. It gives it a little bit more ability to maneuver it. This base, I really enjoyed that it had no problem connecting to my Wi-Fi anywhere I put it in the yard. This thing's battery life, it says I hadn't used any battery. It's been running for over 10 hours straight. So that's pretty impressive. It says I've used probably about a third of the battery in this, so I could probably still go all night long with the probe. I'm impressed. The software is great. It was easy to use, easy to set up. The graphs are nice. You can actually see where the meat had this nice gradual climb until it hit the stall and then stalled out and then started to climb again. You can see where I had to fight with the fire all day long, which I typically do in this mini offset smoker. But this thing performed flawlessly, and I will definitely be using it in the future, and I'll probably be buying some more probes for some of my other cooks. If you enjoyed the review, click the subscribe button so you know whenever I post other reviews for other things.